Welcome to another episode of AI Edge. This week we're exploring perplexity. Now, perplexity is basically, I don't know, I think some people are calling it this, I don't know, but it's AI, it's Google search with AI. I mean, it's an AI search engine. So instead of having to go and sift through all of the links, Perplexity allows for you to just ask it whatever you want, and it summarizes it into something that you can communicate with and chat with, as opposed to going and reading and searching and then bringing everything together. Let's just start with the basic of it. It does have a deep research feature, which is actually really incredible. I've used it a few times. It's really good. But let's just say, what what will tariffs mean for Nvidia? So we can just go in and ask it this, and you could do this in Google, and you'll get a lot of links. The beauty of Perplexity is that it goes and searches sources. So this one, for instance, had 6 sources, um, and it you can go and look at all of the sources that it looks at, names that you know. You can click into these if you would wish, but it summarizes what it found across all sources. Now, some searches have more sources than others, but you get a quick, distilled down version of what you need to know. Um, and it does a pretty good job of it. And then you can ask more questions. How quickly can NVIDIA, um, you know, move or adjust due to the tariffs? And again, you can, oh, I spelled tariffs wrong, but that's okay. So it's searching the web. It even knows when I'm spelling it wrong. But again, this one has 20 sources. And you can go in and see all of them. It can see everything that it did. It searched the sources, and it summarizes it. This is the beauty of it, real-time information that you can do. You can save this, you can export it, you can do whatever you want, you can share it. There's a lot of functionality that you can do. You also have this discover section, which is similar to like a news feed that you can go through. We're going to come back to this, but you can see it summarizes kind of the most recent stories. You can also go and create spaces. So if you want to do different client research or an analytical research, or as this one says, what will Buffett say type of research, you can create spaces. We're not going to go deep into it this time on here, but it's super valuable for you if you want. So let's go over to Discover. I want to dive into the finance section. So this shows finance um, stories, which is great. But I think that what I really love about Perplexity is I think it's got a finance section on steroids here. And you can see that here, right? So you can go in and see real-time information on the markets and what's going on in the marketplace. You can see news, market summary, again, updated 7 minutes ago. It's real time because it's using real-time sources. You can see upcoming earnings. Now, the cool thing about earnings, which I'll show you on some of these calls, is as the earnings are happening, you can see what the information that's going on there. Quick top movers, standouts, everything of that nature. So now, latest news, and you can go deeper. And you can go deeper on the market right now. You can search just right now about what's going on, and there's like a bullish sentiment up here, which is very interesting. But if I just want to go and look at, let's say, Apple, I can go in and there's 2 ways. I'm going to click in on Apple, and I get a extreme detailed view of of Apple right here. Daily chart. I get the latest news updated. I get to look at its peers across the board. I can see its earnings. And so this earnings was on May 1st. I'm recording this on May 8th. You can see the transcript of the earnings right here, and it distills down that earnings report right here in the key insights. It's super fun, and you can see what it beat by. And in future earnings, we don't have earnings yet, it says when the next earnings date is and what its expectations are. And it also talks about like what's the average moves during those days of earnings, which is really interesting, I think, as well. I mean, you can get that other places as well, but it's all right here. You can see all the different recent transcripts, and then you can dive into the income cash flow statement all the way down, and you can start to ask questions on Apple as well, which is very interesting. It's just, I think it's Google Finance or Yahoo Finance on steroids, real time. But the other aspect that we can do is that if you type in Apple or the symbol, you can click on the symbol, or you can just say Apple stock. And these are two different ways of going about it. When I click enter, I didn't click anything. You now see their sources and images, and it still shows the stock chart. But now what it does is it gives me more of like an overview on the stock of what's going on. So I can just get a kind of a distilled version of what's going on, recent news, highlights, company profile, everything of that nature as well. And I can ask anything about Apple. How is Apple performing on iPhone sales? And you can see what happens, and it just goes through, and I'm talking with Apple as well. From here, I can also go into that detailed version if I click into more about Apple, and all my stories and stuff I can access. If I go over here and hover, I can access them and go back to them over time. And you can see it gives me all my answers here. That's very interesting. And the last thing I like to do is I want to go into just a general. I'm going to go back to the finance section here, backslash finance, and I want Perplexity to give me an analysis uh, to analyze a portfolio. So I say analyze a portfolio with this allocation: 10% Apple, 12% Procter and Gamble, 8% J&J, 5% Southern Company, 25% BND, EMLP, etc. So I want it to give me an analysis of it. So I'm going to click here, and now it's going to go and gather information and give me an analysis of this. Why do I think that this is such a pivotal tool or a valuable tool for wealth managers? Is that I think it commoditizes analytical information. It allows smaller teams to now compete with bigger teams that have multiple analysts across the board. It allows for us, if you don't have a Bloomberg, to go deep and deep enough. And then it allows for us to personalize it towards our own families as we wish as well. So you can see here's the portfolio structure, here's the analysis of it, breakdown, geographic exposure, sector exposure, risk and return. Gives me all of this information as well. Is likely below one, income potential, strengths, some weaknesses. And then I can say, okay, to help me shore up the weaknesses, what moves should I make in the portfolio based on the current market environment? And right here, it's going to give me some ideas. Whether it's right or wrong, it just gives me ideas. Again, AI is a matter of helping us think through things, giving us an alternate perspective. It's a sidecar partner with us to allow us to review and view things from a different angle. Whether it's right or wrong is not the rationale or the reason why we use AI. It's a matter of helping us understand things from a different perspective and allowing us to have a partner without having to, go and hire someone else to be the partner. And so it tells me some things, right? Add 2% to energy infrastructure, bolster US large cap. So I can go and take that, and I can then have a conversation with it. Now, this is just giving me some ideas based on the current market environment. And again, look, it used 38 sources to look through this. And it's looking at real time, May 2025 US stock market outlook. That is right now. We're in May. And you're able to see that 50. This actually says 51 sources up here on analyzing the portfolio, 38 on giving me some ideas around the portfolio. And then I can have conversations about like how would it be impacted by tariffs or interest rate hikes, etc. Or I could stress test this portfolio. Provide a stress test of how this portfolio would perform in a 2008 type market environment. And I get a stress test as well. So I get that all right in here as well. Again, it's going through 38 sources. It's going to continue to look at probably more sources as well. And then it's going to give me that stress test that I can give. And it's going to give me different scenarios of where I'm at. And again, it gives me directionally. And we can go and dive deeper into how it got there because it's looking through all of it right here. And you can review all of this from a compliance purpose and whatever it may be of how it got there and say, well, that's not right. That is right. Whatever it may be, it's giving you the step-by-step of the process. It's showing its work. It kind of reminds me of geometry class or trigonometry class where you had to show the proof. That's what it's doing here. And so you can see what happens here. It shows what the drawdown was in 2008. It shows the contribution to the loss based on the asset allocation. Total drawdown would be here. S&P fell about 50%. So you can start to see very interesting things I think that Perplexity can have, and I think it levels the playing field. So my biggest suggestion is go and just try it out, play around with it, and explore what is the opportunities within Perplexity.